This is actually on Facebook, so people chime in, give us, they have comments and questions.
Okay. Cool.
And so they can actually see us talking. But then if they miss this, we put it on podcast, and they can go on listen to it on podcast.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, man, we stepping that game up around here, man.
I thought I was ready.
I see.
I thought I was ready. All right, let's see.
We stepping that game up.
Make sure it says we're live. Boop, boop, boom, boop, 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 boom. Sure enough, we're live. All right.
Got anybody on there yet?
15 people.
What?
On.
Well, they be ready for this. They waiting on us.
Oh, yeah, we'll get a couple hundred on here.
They waiting on us.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Depression Sunday, huh? Depression Sunday.
Let me get it up, and so we can start seeing some
so
feedback.
close, but yet so far away.
So far.
Oh, let's mute that.
Yeah, so far away. But here's the bottom line, though, guys. No heart. No drive. No passion for the game. Zero passion.
Yeah.
Zero coaching ability.
Wow.
Depressing. I summed it up yesterday in one word. My last tweet was what, Dan?
Disappointing.
Disappointing. That's all I said. Disappointing.
Wow.
How you do that?
All right, for the record, before you even go too much further for the podcast, at least,
I
want to say this is the Tommy Frazier Husker Nation podcast, and we're here today with, of course, Tommy Frazier and Keith Inzone Jones, which played. Let me get. It was, if I remember right, it was 84 to 87.
Yep.
83 to
84.
84 to 87.
Old timer. I'm not the oldest one on the panel. Well, I'm the youngest one here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the youngest
you're
one
older than
here.
me. You're my 6 months. 6 months. But you had.
But I got more gray than everybody else here, though.
You got to shave it.
I don't have a lot. I still look pretty young, I think.
You should cut that Fu Manchu off. You never know.
Yeah. So anyway, we got a guest, and Keith was at the time when you were like second or third all-time rusher when you left there.
Third all time, behind Mike and
Was it Jeff Kinney?
no, not Jeff. Mike Rozier. Somebody had to look it up, but I think it was Mike Rozier, and I think I am hip. I think, but I was third all time.
Third best, huh? What are you now? Do you know what you are now?
Probably nowhere to be found.
Probably
now,
8,
man.
9. You think about
maybe,
Amon?
maybe 13.
You got Amon. You got
Start stacking them.
You got Mike,
well, you got
Amon,
Calvin
Jones, Derek Brown, Lawrence,
Lawrence Phillips,
Rex Burkhead, Amir.
You got
Roy Halou.
Roy Halou.
Corey Ross.
I
Think Corey was up there?
No, Corey, I think maybe 20.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I might be 13.
But just listen to those names that we just called off.
Yeah.
And listen to the names that we have now. Not even, it's more the talent level, not even there.
Well, I think the biggest, disappointment with that, in the past, Nebraska's, when you talk about running backs, I-back,
right?
Always had, a guy that was going to get you, 1,000 to 1,500, even 2,000 yards,
right.
So that run game was always going to be there, which, lately it's been lost.
Yep.
I think we really can't really speak to a running game since Amir left.
True. Yeah.
And that's been a couple years now. So.
And that was more of a hit and miss. Just depends on the game and
depending on the opponent, of course. Yeah. And but Amir to me was kind of fit that type of running back in pass that Nebraska's always had. Run aggressive, run physical, up the field north and south, and we're missing that.
Well, I think, and I just think it's, to me, they keep talking about they want to be a balanced offense. They want to be 50-50 or it was 54, 55, 45, whatever you want to call it. And I think my math is right there. But at the end of the day, if you don't practice that way, if you don't practice field, you don't practice the running game, you don't get reps to the lineman, you're not going to do it in the game.
Right.
And that's my biggest concern. And I know people that have gone down there and watched practices weekly. And that's the one thing that's lacking.
Yep.
It's been physical in practice. If you don't, and we all know people who play sports. Okay, if you don't do it in practice, you're not going to do it in the game.
It's not going to happen.
You can't turn that light on, especially being physical.
Yeah.
Especially breaking down and tackling. And I'm not saying you got to tackle guys to the ground,
Yeah.
But you got to break down.
Well, yeah, and with the linemen, when you talk about point of attack and drive blocking, if you're not doing that in practice, it's almost impossible.
Right, because the game is faster now.
It's game's faster, and I'm one of those people that's been down to practice, and I've stood around, I've watched, and because of the past, I'm waiting and I'm watching for the scrimmage,
right? The physical side of it,
inside run,
right?
Drills, and it never comes, and it's disappointing because being a former player, unless you execute and simulate it in practice, unless you do it like it's real time,
right?
When it comes real time, it's just not going to happen,
right?
And for whatever reasons that they're not doing it, health reasons or want to keep guys healthy, well, unfortunately, I think the results of them not doing it is what we're seeing it.
Right. And my whole deal is keeping kids healthy. There's a difference between hurt and injured.
Right.
And what bothers me more and more time and time again, I see guys go down on the field rolling around like they've been shot by a BB gun or something from 20 feet away, and then 3 plays later they're back and they're running full speed.
Right.
That's one thing that Turner Gill always stressed to us, and Frank Solage and Milt Tenniper. If you hurt, you'll be fine. But if you're injured, then that's another thing.
Right.
You can still play when you're hurt.
Right.
And we just, and I don't know if it's the way they work out in the weight room. I don't know if it's conditioning. I don't know if it's how they've been taught how to do things.
Right.
But it seems like week in and week out, we got so many guys just going down.
Yeah.
Going down.
Yeah. And getting back to what you just mentioned about if guys really hurt or not, back when we played,
you didn't want to be hurt.
You weren't going to be hurt because if you got hurt, guess what?
You lose your job.
I mean, so
go back to back in '95 when Lawrence Phillips was suspended, and then Clint Childs get his first break at Arizona State, rushes for 400 some yards, hurt his knee. Then Damon Bender pops in there, rushed for 100 some yards, hurt his hamstring, and then who steps up? Amon Green, and that was it.
Yep, that was it. All she wrote.
And he has the freshman all-time
rushing
yard.
Yeah, I think he had 1,000 yards.
All purpose. Yeah.
So that's what competition does. That's what it makes you not want to be hurt. Absolutely. Now guys I'm gonna be hurt, but guess what? They're gonna be no guys. Where's the heart?
Yeah, then there's no fear of them losing their position. They go out for a few plays, come back in, and things are just. It seems like being operated differently,
right?
And I think because of the lack of depth,
right?
It creates an issue.
Right, and it's, for me, and I played this position. If y'all didn't know that, it's quarterback. Mm-hmm. When they realized that they didn't have a chance to win the Big Ten championship anymore, right then is when they should have started getting one of those young quarterbacks in game situation.
Yeah,
and I know Tanner Lee had played well the last 3-4 weeks, but still, now's the time to get one of those young guys ready.
Right,
and this way showing that hey. We know we see what we got here. Let's see if this young guy can go in and give us a spark.
Right.
Because for some reason, when and it's not all Tanner, but when the pressure gets on, it's when he
makes mistakes.
Yeah. And yesterday, for me, I thought probably was the second worst game I've seen him play. He was eyeing receivers down. Yeah. I mean, two of the interceptions, I was like, okay, I saw before he even threw the ball. I said, don't throw the ball there.
Yeah.
Don't throw the ball there.
Yeah.
And he threw it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, taking nothing from Tanner, he has been put under a lot of pressure. And when you can't run the ball, unfortunately, Nebraska just have not been able to run the ball consistently. I mean, so that puts more on his shoulders, to throw the ball more. And Tommy, the more times you put the ball in the air, the more chance something bad.
Which I say it every week. There's two things bad that happen when you throw the football.
Yeah,
incomplete or interception.
Yep.
I say it every week. Yeah. And it's just a point to where I fought the coordinator for what's going on with the offense right now.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to do things that these players can't do.
Right.
And this is the first time I'm going publicly saying this. It's the offensive coordinator responsibility to make sure the offense performs better.
Right.
Of course, everything falls back on Mike Riley because he's a CEO.
Right.
But he's doing his job. He got managers to control things, run the offense side, run the defense side of the ball. Last year, they had a defense coordinator, which they improved from the first year to the second year. Got rid of him because he wanted to switch. He felt they weren't good enough. I think now it's time, if he keeps his job, I think it's now time to look at the offensive side of the ball.
Right.
I really do.
Right.
And it's sad for me to say that, but we're seeing the same thing week in and week out. There's no improvement.
Yeah. Yeah. There's too many programs, whether it's Big Ten or just around the country. When you talk about D1 football, I mean, not even your top 24 teams,
right?
25 teams. There's too many teams that, to me, when I watch them, because when I watch football now, I just look for execution.
Yeah.
I don't really care who wins. I just want to see good execution in football. Mm-hmm. There's too many teams that run the ball and run the ball well and execute from an offensive standpoint. And when you look at teams, and I'm just going to say the Big 12, for example.
Right.
Those teams, from an offensive standpoint, have no problem scoring points.
No, look at the Bedlam series game yesterday. What was 114 points scored?
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, so, and we were talking before we went on air here, but there come a time when it's more than just the X's and O's.
Right.
Okay, so if they're not going to be physical in practice and work on the run game in practice like they should, they're rolling the dice, and we're seeing the results of that.
Right.
So the expectations of especially a program like Nebraska, who's known for being physical,
right,
and who's known for being able to establish the run, which has been missing
for quite some time now.
For quite some time. I don't know who they're going to get in here if they do make a head coaching change, but whoever they get in here, obviously that's going to be the one thing that's going to have to be reestablished.
Right. And it doesn't need to be a Nebraska guy.
Right.
I think it needs to be someone who has a philosophy of we're a run-oriented team.
Yeah.
We're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
And I go back and I look at Nick Saban. Mm-hmm. I look at Georgia. Mm-hmm. Those guys got all the wealth of talent out there.
Yeah. But
the one thing that those guys do very well is that no matter who they have in the backfield or who they have up in the center, they're going to have an offensive line that can run the ball, and they're going to have a running back that can run the ball.
Right.
The passing game is second nature to them.
Right.
And you're talking about the top two teams in the playoff system right now, and both of them are identical to each other.
Yeah.
They run the football.
They run the football. Yeah.
And they're not all pass happy.
Right.
Look at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Notre Dame has gotten back to running the football.
Yeah.
So there's something to that formula. I understand that throwing the ball in the air and scoring a lot of points put people in the stands.
Yeah.
But does it win championships all the time?
No. It doesn't.
No. And that's what I want to see, whether Mike Riley's the head coach or not, and he decided to make changes offside. Get a guy in here that is focusing on run the football. Because people, you playing in the Midwest.
Yeah.
It gets cold.
It gets cold. Yeah.
It rains.
And it's cold now. So.
And it rains.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna be able to throw the ball like you're supposed to.
Right.
So you got to learn. You got to know how to run the field.
Yeah.
And that's what's hurting his offense. And I fault the coordinator on it. Yeah. I fault the offensive line coach on that. I even fault the running back coach on that.
Right.
Because those are the three facets of the game.
Yeah.
Of the run game.
Yeah.
And if you can't find 5 or 6 run plays.
Yeah.
Like Wisconsin. And run those plays from different formations, something is wrong.
Yeah. And like you said, like Wisconsin, we didn't mention those, and we've talked about some of the teams that run the ball and run it well. But, you can almost put Wisconsin up against any team when you talk about running the football.
And does Wisconsin have better players than Nebraska?
No.
As a team?
I would say no. I would dare to guess that talent-wise, we're probably on the same plane.
Or maybe even a little bit higher.
Maybe a little higher.
But what happened when they put a product on the field, because this is what they do.
It's what they do. They know what their identity is.
And they stick to it.
And they stick to that identity. And no matter what you do, they're going to run the football. Yeah, which opens up other things.
And let's talking about yesterday's game. I saw Nebraska do some things well in the run game. And the one thing, the first time they did it was the 3 the bunch trips.
Right.
And they run the ball. I mean, that was their best run formation.
Yeah.
Northwestern didn't know how to adjust to that.
Right.
Why not run that until they figure it out?
Right.
Coach Osborne's a king of that. We're going to keep running the same plays until they stop it.
Yeah.
And then once they stop it, now I'm setting something else up.
Yeah. Well, that's what the good coaches do.
Yeah, but it seems like they go from this, this play worked. Okay, let's go to this, or here, see if this work. Okay, let's go to hit. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go back to this formation when we really – come on.
Yeah.
Are you watching the same game? Are you watching the film knowing what can be done? Right. And I've been hard on the offensive side of the ball today simply because it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks of not being productive.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at the stats, like if I bring this up, we had 31 carries total yesterday from 6 different rushers for 112 yards.
Wow.
6 different rushers. Zigbo had 23 of those carries. Wilbon only had 1 carry, and Lindsey only had 2 carries. So J.D. Spillman, which put on the show again, he had 2 carries. DeMornay had 1 carry, and then, of course, Tanner Lee had 2 carries for -8 yards.
Right. Where was Bradley? Where's Bradley?
Now,
last time I checked, versus Purdue, he gave him a spark.
Yeah. Now, was he still injured? I know he had a boot early in the week.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know where he is.
If he's injured, then maybe explain.
He wasn't in there.
Maybe explain.
But even Wilbon, why is Wilbon only got one carry for the day?
Right. And so you got a guy who's not an outside runner, but you're trying to run outside stuff with him.
Yeah.
He's 230-some pounds. Lay up and go downhill.
Yeah.
If you can't do it, throw a fullback in the game and get somebody in front of him.
Somebody in front of him. Right.
It's not rocket science, people.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of seeing the same stuff over and over and over. Or we're improving, or this. No, you're not improving.
No, you're not. And I hate when I hear that we're improving, and when statistically it doesn't say that you're improving.
No.
You know, it's like you that you mentioned the numbers, the rushing. You know, again, we mentioned early on that obviously a big part of the offense that's missing is a running back that can make it happen.
Right.
And that want to make it happen.
Right.
And, I remember when, not so recent years ago, your eye back would carry the ball 20 to 25 times a game. That's what was expected. Mm-hmm. But now you got 6 different rushers splitting the carries. So what that tells me is somebody's not reliable at that spot and at that position. So,
or they're not preparing them to be reliable.
Or they're not preparing them to be reliable. And, again, like you said, that falls on the shoulders of the offensive coordinator. It falls on the shoulders of the running back coach, because a guy by the name of Frank Solich, if you had a guy, and matter of fact, first of all, you weren't going to be one of his running backs and not be productive. That's the first thing.
Right.
Okay. And I can imagine Coach Solich right now, if he was here, and I won't say on the air, but I would guarantee you some of these running backs that's really not taking the position by the reins,
they wouldn't be here.
They wouldn't be playing.
No, they wouldn't be here. I know they wouldn't be here.
Yeah, so that's kind of what that position has kind of digressed to. Not saying that there's no talented guys there, because I think there's some talented guys there, but we're just not doing the things to get these guys prepared going into the games each week,
right,
to be successful.
And I just look at and I'm going to keep calling out, because they are the best team in the Big Ten right now, even though people talking about their conference schedule, and their schedule is not very good. Mm-hmm. Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I don't care how many people knew about James Taylor coming out of high school.
Right.
Nobody.
All right.
But they plug him in there.
Yeah.
And look what happens.
Yeah.
Look, who was Gordon?
Mm-hmm.
White.
Right. But guess whose program used to be like that?
That's Nebraska's.
Right. All they've done is taking that blueprint, and they're doing what we used to do.
Absolutely.
Each year we used to plug in a running back. You used to have 3, 4 deep. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter really which one, because everybody was hungry, and everybody was competing, and everybody wanted to run that ball.
Yep.
And I love seeing Wisconsin play.
And even offensive line play. Mm-hmm. You go back to Aaron Graham, and I still remember Aaron Graham and Jim Scott and Ken Malin were battling out for center my freshman year. Those guys didn't want it because they knew the next guy coming in.
Right.
They fought for time, and now you don't see that.
Yeah.
It was I still can't remember a time to where when you had an offensive lineman go down, and they just move a guy who played the position over and then bring another guy, and they start switching guys in.
Right.
What's wrong with the guy in the backing up?
Right. Where's your depth?
Where's your depth at? If you got to start moving linemen when one goes down to get your best foul on the field, that means you're not doing what you're supposed to do in practice to get the guys behind them ready.
Right.
And what was that? They're not getting enough reps.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not running enough stations to where you can get those guys reps.
Yeah. And for people that know football and understand football, your sports fans out there, and even analysts, when they're doing one of our games, when you see that commotion going on, within that offensive line, if someone gets hurt and now, okay, we're scrambling, another guy gets hurt and we're scrambling. No, you shouldn't really even be able to see that.
Right.
That's stuff behind the scenes. But when you're seeing that stuff out front and people are able to acknowledge that and see it and talk about it, oh, they're in trouble now. There's really no next guy up here. Now they got to move this guy from here to do this. That to me, you're not preparing yourself from a personnel standpoint.
Right.
You don't have enough depth, and you're not preparing enough guys, because guess what? Somebody's going to get hurt.
It's football.
Somebody's going to go down.
It's football.
And so it's almost embarrassing when you see it on national TV, a scramble going on to, okay, well, what are we going to do now? How are we going to patch this?
Right.
No, that shouldn't even take place.
Right.
You should have guys eager enough. That guy who's the backup in that position, 2-3 deep, that when that guy go down, he's already out in the huddle.
He's in the field.
He's on the field in the huddle already, ready to go.
Right. So. Yeah. I know we got some questions coming in.
Man, there's a whole bunch. Stephen just asked, do you see any plays that we run consistently where we actually look dominating and field goals don't count?
Well, like I said, yesterday, like I say, yesterday versus Northwestern, when they ran that 3-by-1 bunch package to where they motioned the guy in and ran the ball away from it, they gained 5 to 6 yards of pop, sometimes more than that. But they only did it 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, yeah. And Stephen, I'm with you. It's one of those situations, man, where we shouldn't be guessing about what plays we're going to run.
What game plan do they have?
Exactly. Bottom line is we should have 10 plays that we dominate. 10 plays where we impose our will.
Thank you.
That's the way it should be. Because when you watch other teams, that's what they do.
Have you been talking to me?
No.
Have you been talking to me?
Not in this regard.
Because how many times have I said that, Dan?
Over and over and over.
What is your base offense? Yeah. If you can't run your base offense to perfection, then all other stuff, throw it out the way.
Yeah. What's your identity? All these moves and shifts and all this stuff.
You're confusing yourself.
Man, come on. Well, you're confusing yourself. And you confusing the fans, and because after all, when the dust is settled, when that play's over with, and when the play's not executed the way it needs to be executed, guess what?
All that trigger didn't matter.
All that stuff don't matter.
Mm-hmm. But I said that from day one.
So let's get rid of all the dressings. Let's get rid of all that stuff. Line up, and let's go man on man, and let's play football.
Old days,
man.
Back when Newt Rockman was back there playing, you ain't do all that motion. We finna Glenn. We're gonna run it. Let's go, mano a mano.
Stop us.
And I've said that from day one, and maybe they fooled all of us when they said the offense will be the strength of this team this year. Maybe they fooled us. I didn't think that, but the way they were talking coming out of camp, and they didn't make the change of defense, the offense is supposed to be the strength of this team.
Right.
I'm sad to say, but maybe it's the defense who's the strength of this team. And they have their holes, but they're learning new system, got guys playing the position. But maybe defense is the one. Because yesterday, offense, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 drives, offense put defense in bad positions.
Yeah.
With turnovers, or not getting the first down or whatever. Mm-hmm. Now, there are times where Nebraska was going down and scoring through an interception. When they threw that interception, I say, game over.
Right.
Game over. Because now you saw just the whole demeanor of the team.
Yeah.
Because they had the chance to go down. I think they were in field goal position.
Right.
But they take points. The offenses have taken points away from themselves many times this year. And it has to stop, and it's not going to stop unless they change philosophy.
Right.
And I was watching the game with somebody, and after Nebraska got the 4th down and short, and it's when they threw the touchdown pass to Ramers. Mm-hmm. This guy is a U.S. Marshal. Okay, you tell he knows, but he's like, first down. Watch they throw the ball deep, and sure enough, they threw the ball deep. And his exact words say, "Well, I'm glad I didn't think they were going to throw a touchdown, but I knew they were going to throw it deep because that's what he does. That's a pattern."
Yeah.
And you got a guy who all the time he really watches games on Saturdays.
Right.
He can care less about what happens in practice. He can care less what happens in the news.
They're predictable.
They're predictable.
Yeah.
So if an average guy who's really not a football enthusiast can see that pattern, you don't think those coaches who watch, that's all they do.
Right.
They see it.
Yeah.
I mean, and they know that, hey, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. Yeah. Oh, let's not play the run because they're going to try to throw the ball deep.
Yeah. And let's not play the run because guess what? They haven't proven that they're a very good running team.
Yes. So it's stuff like that that is bothering me. And I think that stuff like that is bothering the fans more than anything, that we're too predictable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too predictable.
Yeah.
You know, if that's the type of stuff we're going to get from our offense, because it's not helping those players.
Right.
It's not. You're not, and you can say, well, we're giving the players the best opportunity to go out to be successful. Are you really, by some of the things that you call them? Yeah. Because obviously some of the things you call them, the players can't do it on a consistent basis.
Right. Right.
And I challenge these guys, and I don't care if they are listening to me. What is your base offense?
Yeah.
Go back and look at the film on your base offense, your base plays. The first thing your first installation you put in spring and in fall camp.
Right.
And if you're not successful on those base plays 80% of the time, then you're not doing the things you're supposed to do.
And if the players can identify what those plays are and can identify and have the confidence that this is how we establish ourselves week in, week out, if the players don't know that, then guess what, Coach? You got a problem.
Yeah. And I hate, and Dan, I hate going back to Coach Osborne. I hate going back to him. But I can tell you right now, when I came in as a freshman, we knew that the base formation was going to be a pro, 1 tight end, 2 back, 2 wide receivers.
Yep.
And we knew that these plays we're going to focus on right here.
This is who we are.
This is who we are. And we're going to get good at this. And then once we got that, then we're going to go 2 tight ends, 1 back. And this is who we are. We're going to run those. He didn't start getting on offense until we got the base stuff down.
Right.
Even on pass protection.
Right.
We do that 3-step pass pro. We're going to do this. We're going to be able to block it versus any defense.
Right.
I don't care what they throw at us.
Right.
And they send one guys up to the quarterback to understand and get rid of the ball. It's a hot read. And then we go to a 2-by-2, spread them out. Okay, man protection.
Right.
We know that we can do this.
Yeah.
This team can't do that.
They can't do that. And guess what? When you say that when you came in as a freshman, that's what it was.
That's what it was.
And when you left as a senior,
it was still the same thing. It was the same thing. It was the same thing. Nothing changing.
Yeah.
It was the identity.
Yep. Yep.
What is the identity? Well, you can say, well, they changed. Well, okay, fine, you changed, but still, you've been here 3 years.
Yeah.
And I know you had Tommy that you say he didn't fit your system, and you finally, but you still have a base. You still have an idea of what you want your offense to look like, and you just adapt your offense to the players that you have until you get your guys in here.
Right.
Now you got your quarterback in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You say, oh, finally got our guy. What is the base though? What is your base offense?
Right.
What is your base offense? And I even take it one step. I even go to the defense side of the ball. What is your base defense?
Right.
Can your guys run your base defense to perfection?
Right. Right.
Can they run your base defense versus the formation that you're going to see to perfection? Now, you're going to give up some holes and stuff like that, but are the guys in position to make plays?
Your bread and butter, whatever it is defensively, when you know that you need to stop.
Can we throw it out there?
Can you throw it out there and know that your guys are going to execute and make the play?
Right.
That's the confidence in whether you offensive, defensive coordinator. That's where you have to be.
And
if you're not that confident going into games on the weekend, chances are you're probably going to lose.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the confidence of your coaches, the game plan, and knowing that you've identified things and know that you're going to put your players in the best position, both sides of the ball, to win. Not to go out and to play well. I'm really getting tired of hearing about the guys played well. No, playing well don't get it done.
Winning.
Guys have got to find a way to win.
And I don't care. And me, I don't care if it's about 1 point, about 20 points, about 40 points. At the end of the year, people see your record. They don't see how many your point of margin of victory. They see your record.
Yep.
And they can care less whether you won by 1 point or won by they see those wins and losses.
Yep.
And right now, Nebraska's 4-5. 4-5.
And go to Minnesota.
And quite frankly, they possibly should be 3-6.
Yeah.
I think they stole one last week.
Yeah.
I think they stole one last week.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what my challenge to the offensive side of the ball from here on out for the rest of the season. I don't care if you run 7 plays. but it better be your base offense in mid game, and you rep and 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 rep, and teams started beating you. If they stop you, you say, "Hey, at least we hammer our base stuff."
Yeah.
But all this fancy stuff, motions and all, get rid of that stuff because it's not helping. It's too much for those guys to think.
Yeah.
Think about on the field.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you line up. At the end of the day, once the play call, those guys, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
What about the first series, though? Because every game when they start, the very first series, if we take the ball first, it's the same 3 plays, 3 and out. It's like we're going to hand the ball to Wilbon or Xigbo right up the middle. Yeah. Like there's no I didn't play football, so you know where my story, like, I don't know, but it seems like when I coached Little League soccer the first year, I didn't know how to line up. I didn't know nothing about the game. So I'd wait for the other coach to put his kids on the field, and then I would line up. Mm-hmm. When I watched the first series, that's what it looks like to me. Mm-hmm. Almost like they're waiting, and then if he gets the ball first, like, well, crap, I don't know what to do exactly, so let's just hand it to Xigbo and let's do the 3 and out, wait for the other team.
And, you know, and for me, it goes back to game planning. Mm-hmm. Okay? You know, I know for a fact that Coach Osborne, he always script the first 15 plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you talked about that before.
Always, first 15 plays.
Yeah.
And based off down and distance, he had a backup play for down and distance. But once we got another first down, he went back up to play 2. So we run first. We run first play and we get 9 yards. Then he goes to a second and short call. Yeah. But then we get the first down. Now he goes to his second play back up to the top. Yeah. Because those first 15 plays, we ran every day in practice.
Every day.
Starting every practice, we started.
Same thing.
First 15 plays.
Yeah.
We knew what the first 15 plays were going to be before on Wednesday.
Right.
And we just repped them. That's why you very well saw Nebraska go 3 and out.
Right.
And we'll run them versus different defense they can give us.
Right. Right.
Because we knew that in the game, for opening game, there could be some changes.
Right.
But you very well saw Nebraska go 3 and out in his tenure.
Yeah.
Because he repped the plays. We repped the first 15 plays we knew. Even on Thursdays. First 15 plays. Bam, here we go.
Yeah. And you know, it's that wasn't sexy.
No.
It wasn't exciting. But guess what?
It worked.
It worked. It was dependable.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that you were going to be able to go out and execute it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, so much now, you see a lot of sexy teams. You see teams scoring a lot of points. You see a lot of that. But guess what? The teams, when the dust settle at the end of the season, guess what? It ain't the sexy teams.
No.
It's the physical lineup, run, play action, whatever. It's those teams that's always standing at the end of the year.
At the end.
So.
Throw some questions. I know people. Let's get some people involved.
There's about 200 people on right now. They're all talking. Dennis said if they're not tough off the field, then why should we expect them to be tough on the field? Andy said it starts with the tunnel walk. It's disappointing and lacks zero energy now.
You know what's disappointing for me? And I think this prayer started back in 94, 95, the dear Lord, as we go through life, we go through life. Mm-hmm. That, and I've always said that's something that should have been kept in-house.
Yeah.
That was our way of getting motivated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now when you turn on TV, national TV, it's right there. Right. They're in the locker room doing that. No.
Right.
Right there is where they don't understand what's really going on.
Right.
That's something that only the players should know.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be shown on the big screen.
Right.
Because that was our bond of how we got ourselves fired up.
Right. And
when they're saying it now, it's kind of like you love bad goes to life, you love bad goes to life. There's no enthusiasm, excitement to it.
Yeah.
So right there, I was like, these guys ain't ready to play.
Right.
These guys ain't ready to play. You don't see nobody there who's lubed up sweating before the game.
Right.
Because they hyped and tense. They want to go out and rip somebody's head off.
Yeah.
It's all false persona what they give.
Yeah. And one of the comments was if they're not tough off the field, how are they going to be tough on the field? And he's exactly right. You know, there's a certain type of demeanor, okay, or a certain type of swag, as they would say these days, with players. You carried that. That's just who you are. You know, if fans saw you, you know, whether it's downtown Lincoln,
they're afraid of you.
Yeah,
they're afraid of you.
You know, And it's one thing to be sociable and to be respectful, but then there's another thing when you talk about mental preparedness and knowing really you about to go into battle, and that's what your mindset is, especially during the season, man. You know.
And I tell people this all the time when I look at you know about the Christian Peters and the Grant Wisham, and that's because their coach had that attitude. Okay, yeah. Their coach had that attitude.
Right.
When you think of Ed Stewart and Mike Anderson,
right.
Kevin Steele had that attitude.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
When you think of George Starlington, his guys played, but they were kind of like they had George mentality.
Right. Right.
But there's Aaron Graham, my center. He probably had the softest demeanor, like he's very soft spoken.
Yeah.
But when he got on that football field, the lights they went from Clark Kent to Superman or David Banner to Incredible Hulk. Like he played with a nastiness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't see that mentality. And trust me, Coach Osborne, he had the same personality, very low key, laid back.
But game time.
But he knew that he got to let those guys on that defense side of the ball, let those offensive linemen get themselves right to be nasty.
Yes.
Now you can control it,
right?
But that's the type of demeanor that you got to have.
He knew players' personalities, and he knew what they need to do to get ready, to go out and to wreak havoc.
He knew to leave me alone.
Yeah,
because he knew I won't listen to him because I have a mind on other stuff.
Right.
He come up when once we left the team hotel.
Yeah.
I didn't talk with him again until we got on the field getting ready for the first series.
Yeah.
Because he knew that if I wasn't ready, by then, I'm not ready at all.
Right. Right.
So leave me alone.
Right. There seems to be a certain level of intensity that's missing.
Is there intensity?
I don't see it.
So if there's no intensity, there's not even a level.
I don't see it. And like you said, when it comes down to what we used to call the nasties, the line.
Who do we have?
Both sides of the ball, offensive line or defensive line, man.
Who do we have?
You almost had to keep these guys on leashes.
I'm to the point now.
That's just how aggressive and how physical and how anxious these guys was to get out and battle.
Hey, I'm to the point now. I'll be happy, and I hope they don't do it because I said. But if a defensive lineman just hit the quarterback leg just for the hell of it,
come on.
Just hit him. Just hit him.
And that's we're used to playing with those type of guys.
Yeah.
And that's just part of that toughness that can overspill at times. But you gotta have that. You gotta have that to be able to establish yourself.
Just hit the guy, offensive lineman blocking late after the play, boom, hit him.
Yeah.
Great thing, because now that's putting doubt in the other guy's mind. Wait a minute.
Yeah. It's the game.
It's the game.
It's what the game is.
And I don't see that.
You don't see it.
I see us helping other guys up after we tackle them.
Come on.
Man, you get yourself up.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, this isn't about on the field play, but it said, Osborne always led you guys out of the tunnel. Where's Riley during the tunnel walk? Just from the beginning,
there.
Does he lead them out?
Yeah, he's there. Well, Coach Osborne, he was always ahead of the camera.
Sorry, that was Leslie that asked that.
He was always ahead of the camera, but he was there. Yeah. Mike Riley is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the tunnel walk is more about the players.
Yeah.
The tunnel walk is not there. When I hear that song, I don't even get excited anymore.
I don't. I used to get goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Hair used to raise up on
I used to want to go out there and run and play. Now it's kind of like, oh, what? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they walk out. There's like, you're right, because I remember watching the tunnel walk, and when the doors opened, like you could see the energy and the fire.
Yes.
And now it really is just a walk. It's a slow pace out, and it's just. Yeah. Right from the beginning, we're lacking energy.
Yeah. We just let them dogs out. Let us out of the cage. Let's go.
Well, we talked the last several years. We talked about how slow of a start Nebraska is to every game. It's so slow now. It's.
But yesterday Northwestern was disappointing because you had an opportunity, a very winnable game, to continue momentum.
Yeah. Right.
And you come back and you do the same stuff that I saw versus Purdue. You do the same stuff I saw versus Ohio State. You do the same stuff I saw against Wisconsin. You do the same thing I saw against Northern Illinois. Same thing I saw against Illinois. Nothing's changed.
Right.
The only thing that's changed is the team you're playing against.
Right. And the only way you should be satisfied with nothing changing is if you're executing and doing the right things, what you're supposed to do. Of course. It may be boring, but if it's successful.
Wisconsin is probably the most boring team out there.
Yeah.
But guess what? You know what they're going to do.
Yep.
You know what they're going to do. They're going to block well. You got a running back who brace tackles. He has more yards out of contact than he does before contact.
Yeah.
And look at them yesterday. What the score was, 24-17.
Yep.
And then what they scored 21 points. And thought, let's stop messing around.
Yeah.
Here we come at you.
Yeah.
And then because they went back and said, hey, let's go to our bread and butter. And let's just run the ball.
Yep.
And they did that.
Yeah.
We can't do that because we don't have an identity.
Yep.
So Chris and Rob and a bunch of other people are asking, after multiple picks again yesterday, where's O'Brien? Like, should we have seen O'Brien, or would it even matter if we seen O'Brien?
Well, let me put it like this to answer that question. Now, Tommy may be better to answer because he's a quarterback, but let me put it like this. When Tommy was playing, or any other quarterbacks per se, if you're not being productive, and if you're throwing picks, and if you're not fearful enough that somebody else is going to probably come off the bench to relieve you,
don't care,
and you don't care.
You don't care.
If you don't have that fear because somebody else, and to me, the coaches have to create that. If Riley hasn't created that, that Lee's going to be fearful, if he's going to throw a pick or then 2 picks and still going to be in the game playing, come on.
You said last time, I think we talked or a few weeks ago, I think it was on the air, that Matt Turman had as many reps every practice as you did.
Yes.
And now it seems like it's an 80-20 split or something like that.
It's the NFL mentality. The NFL mentality. The number one guy gets 90% of the snaps, and the backup guy gets 10% of the snaps. The third guy, you just better be ready if you have a chance.
Right.
That's the NFL mentality.
Yeah.
That's the way college football has gone. But you don't realize that sometimes quarterbacks gonna need to have the hook too.
Yeah.
So if you got a backup, why isn't he playing? There's no reason why Patrick O'Brien or Jebbia or whoever hasn't got more snaps in a game situation at this point in the season.
Right. And it's especially
your
backup and based upon how the season's gone.
Yeah. And I've always said from day one, going into this season here, that, Tanner Lee going to win the job. Mm-hmm. But Patrick O'Brien should be coming in the game within the first quarter where the game still matters to get the flow of the game because if something happens, he's not coming in cold off the bench.
Right.
Don't play him when you're down by 21 points in the fourth quarter versus Wisconsin and you give him meaningless snaps.
Right.
What does that do? That don't do anything for that kid's confidence.
Right.
Well, Lance just said when you guys played, or especially when Tommy played, you had an offensive line there to protect you. And then he goes on to say, Tanner Lee is lacking confidence, or could he be lacking confidence and conditioning just because of that factor?
He's a leader. No, he's a leader. The quarterback is the leader of that team or the offense. And as the quarterback goes, the confidence builds up in everybody else.
Yeah.
If they truly trust him, I'm just going off of me speaking, and like I said, I coach it. And I didn't have a very good coaching career, but the one thing when I was a coach, the one thing I preached to all the quarterbacks is that this offensive line can protect you if they have confidence that you have their back.
Right.
That you're gonna put them in good situations to be successful.
Right.
So that I broke down, but guess what? I'm gonna make a play. I'm gonna throw the ball away.
Right.
That's how it works.
Right.
That's how it works, and that's why you see the Tom Brady's when he gets hit, those guys are fighting for him, or the Aaron Rodgers, or the Joe Flacco's when the guys protecting their quarterback because they have confidence in those guys.
Yeah.
When you get hit, and you can yourself off the ground.
Yeah.
Well, what does that tell you?
Right.
These guys don't have much confidence in you because they'd be doing everything to make sure you don't get hit.
Right.
Well, Orlando says, why isn't Tanner Lee ever getting an offensive line after a sack? Why is he not yelling at him or having more passion? Brandon asks, do you see a leader on the team at all?
Well, do I see?
Well, let me say, I'll answer that. No. And Tanner, he seems to be a nice guy.
Yeah.
But as a leader of the team,
you can't be a nice guy.
You can't be a nice guy. You got to be able to grab your tackle or your guard or your center, and you got to be able to look in his face mask, and you don't have to show him up, but you got to be able to get in his face mask and say, "Hey, man, let's go."
Leaders aren't always liked, but they got to be respected.
Got to be respected, man.
And I'm a prime example of that. Did my teammates like me? I'll probably say 6% didn't like me.
Yeah, but you got to hold guys accountable.
But they respect me though, because if I got on them,
Yeah.
I went out there and I played, but I always say, I got you next time. Don't worry about it. What you got to do, I got you.
Yeah.
But they didn't like me. That's Aaron Graham.
Yeah.
That's Zach Weaver. They didn't like me most of the time, but they knew that, hey, when the shit hit the fan, I'm going to be right there with him. I'm going to be battling with him.
Right.
I don't see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and there's only one coach yesterday I saw passion out of yesterday. Mm-hmm. And that was Williams.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was I saw passion out of him. When DeMario dropped that ball, he got into his face and said, he said, that's unacceptable. Well, I don't want your excuses. No excuses. You two get ready.
Yep. Yep. And that it was obvious and it was visible. That's the kind of accountability that needs to be happening more often.
And it's not happening.
That you don't see.
And that was the first time now he probably doing it in practice, but that's the first time I saw it in a game situation where he got in that guy's face for dropping the ball.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be your playmaker.
Right.
And he's like, no, that's unacceptable. Hey, you two get ready.
Right. Yeah.
We need more of that.
Yeah.
And maybe he's doing it because they're in panic mode, or I don't know. But that's the type of stuff that you need. Kevin Steele was a prime example of getting into a guy's face when they didn't make a play. He didn't want excuses.
Right.
His old saying, we don't want excuses, we want results.
Right. Yeah.
And we give them, they're giving these kids too many excuses and not holding them accountable for not making plays and not doing their job. And that has to stop. But once again, it goes back to culture.
Yep. Yeah.
It goes back to culture.
Yeah.
That's the culture we're in.
Yeah.
That's those type of players we have. And trust me, I will never say this player can't do this player can't do that, get rid of this player there. Never do that.
Yeah.
But I will critique how they play.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you create that culture where everybody's holding everybody accountable, I mean, I remember back when I was playing, man. I mean, if I didn't either run hard enough or miss the block or something.
Well, coach didn't have to say anything.
The coach didn't have to say nothing. Broderick Thomas would come over and get in my face. Man, what the hell are you doing? You know? Or Neil Smith, you know, or Danny Noonan. I mean, so you hold each other accountable on both sides of the ball, you know? And
Damon Bennett told the story many times how I pulled him out of the game myself.
Yeah.
One game he was running, he was tiptoeing, and I looked at him, he made a comment, I said, Coach, get him out of the game. He ain't ready.
Yeah.
And when they put Lawrence in the game, Lawrence coming and running.
Yeah.
You got to hold each other accountable as a team. Because
to.
if you can't hold each other accountable, then you're not brothers.
Yep. That's true.
My brothers tell me all the time when I screw up. And I tell my brother they screwed up, but guess what? They gonna get mad at me.
Right. That makes you better.
That makes you better.
Yeah.
That makes you better.
And you can't take it personal.
No.
It's not about,
sports, you gotta
getting your feelings hurt or any of that stuff, or you embarrassing me, or you're saying, no. We're trying to win out here.
Yeah.
So either you with it or you're not.
Nah.
So George brings up we were talking about leadership. George says, hey, okay, here's some example from Riley at the press conference yesterday, right after the game. He states a couple of different things that's kind of interesting. He says, I think we'll be back to work Monday. I think we've already begun the next phase of how we'll handle the next 24 hours. I think that the players listen to them and believe them, whatever that means. That's what I think will happen. So he's quoting right from Riley, but every sentence is I think. Well,
because it's a fragile situation. It's a fragile team right now. Mm-hmm. You know, they could be practicing hard. They could be, but it's not transitioning over to the football game. Mm-hmm. Okay, and all we can do as fans, and all we can do as former athletes who don't go down there, is base our opinion off what we see on game day.
Right.
That's why I choose not to go watch practices, because I don't want to have this skewed mindset of what this team gonna look like.
Right.
Everything I say on air is based off of what I see on the football field on the game days.
Right.
Because that's your judge and your jury right there. What you put on product you put on Saturday, doesn't matter what you do in the week. You judge on what you do on Saturday.
Yeah.
You could be practicing well in practice. You could have good practice.
Yeah.
None of that matters if it don't translate on the game days.
Right.
So he can say, well, I think, because he truly thinks they could, but he don't know, because the way they practice is not transitioning to the football field, to game days.
When you say that in front of a press conference, though, it doesn't seem like it lacks a lot of confidence.
It looks like a guy who he's defeated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's defeated.
Yeah, he's been defeated.
He's defeated
for weeks.
He's defeated.
Yeah,
and he don't know. He's almost running out of things to kind of say.
Yeah, he's defeated.
You know, and you feel for him, but at the same time,
He's defeated.
This game have no room for feelings. It just don't. You call it as it is, and like you said, what we see now, we see Riley being kind of defeated, and he's unsure. He's unsure. He really don't know how the guys are going to respond.
No,
you know. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I've been in games where I've lost. You've been in games where you've lost. You didn't lose much,
but still lost.
But you still lost, and nobody likes that feeling of losing.
It hurt me more. It hurt me more when we lost.
Yeah.
Like, I literally went home and didn't want to be around nobody.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody a week ago. You don't see guys crying. You don't see guys angry. Man, I'm going to tell you, it would take a lot to hold guys together, because there will probably be fights because of the frustration. You don't see none of that.
I actually seen when they were walking off the field after the end of the game yesterday. Now that you say that, I seen guys. There was a group of guys walking. They were all giving the fist bump to each other,
and laughing, talking.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't see their face expression, but I definitely seen the fist bump. And
just another day.
Hey, we lost the game.
No, you would. You know, we would have maybe two lost seasons, two losses in the season.
And that felt like the end of the world.
Man, one of them, even just one of those losses. I mean, you would almost have to keep guys away from each other
and practice next day.
Oh my goodness!
Bill says you guys got to stop talking because he's going to start crying because you make him miss Husker football so much.
Well, that's a passionate fan there.
Yeah,
that's a passionate fan. That's a guy who cares about the program.
Yeah.
You know, but then you got some of these fans out here, and I want to bring this up, how some fan called out Chris Jones yesterday about he need to pack his bag and leave with dignity now and all that kind of stuff. Whoever that guy is, go kill yourself. Literally.
Wow.
You don't tell a player like that guy who's coming to your university, try to play football at your university, and everyone said that's just one fan. Hey, one bad apple spoils a bunch. One bad egg spoils a whole bunch.
Yeah.
You don't buy a dozen eggs with a cracked one. What they do? They send it back and get you full.
Yeah, and you know, and fans just got to be more respectful.
And I'm just kidding. I say go kill yourself. Just a figure of speech, but you got, come on.
This
people.
game was over before that. Like Chris Jones, it's not Chris Jones' fault.
No,
it wasn't his
come
fault.
on, people. Everyone wants to blame this person, blame that person, and no. If you claim to be the best fans in America and all that kind of stuff, then you act like that when you're doing well. And you act that when you're not doing well.
Right.
And I keep telling my buddies who I know, and I know they listen to the show. Be supportive. Now this team needs you more support now than they do when they're doing well.
Amen. That's so right.
This is when you find how true Husker Nation fans are.
Yes.
And yesterday I saw a full crowd. You still have people there. And some of the comments I heard, we didn't lose, but I still had a great experience. Still had a good time at the game. Mm-hmm. Those are true fans.
Right. Right.
Those are true fans. But the ones who start attacking players on social media and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Literally. Go run into a brick wall head first.
Yeah, it's always okay to, be disappointed as a fan and to, be critical. And that's fine when you talk about, how the team played.
Yeah.
But when you start attacking individuals, that's, you kind of want to
tell them to leave with dignity. And I criticize? Yes, I criticize Taryn Lee. Yes, I criticize Blair. But I'm criticizing the way they play.
I'm not talking about their play.
I'm talking about their performance. I'm not criticizing them as a human being or telling them to leave with dignity or all that kind of stuff. No.
Right.
Come on, people. They're still young men. They're still going into adulthood.
Yeah.
And you don't think that kind of stuff right there hurts recruiting?
Yeah. Yeah.
That type of stuff hurts recruiting more so than losses.
Yeah, because there's been some things that's been said in recent past, about certain.
We had a number one recruit chose Louisville because of the negative stuff that the fans were saying about the program, about the coaches.
Yeah, because everything you say out there, it's out there.
Yeah,
and
you can put it out there and try to delete it, but your finger's not faster than some people's.
Yeah. So I would encourage all fans, to be careful about what you say and how you voice it, because, like Tommy said, it does affect your recruiting. We lost the number one recruit, 4-star recruit, 5-star recruit defensive back. He's a baller too. Yeah.
We lost him because of the negative stuff. Who's going to be next head coach here at Nebraska? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that?
Yeah.
And I kept saying, people, leave that commentary alone until it happens.
Right.
Because you don't understand.
Right.
The recruits see that stuff.
Yep.
And trust me, this guy goes to IMG, which is in my hometown. And my younger brother knows the coaches there, and we got a couple kids that. And the kid said, and he told my younger brother, He's left Nebraska because of all the negative stuff that's going about. Who's going to be the next head coach there? Why they saying when you still got a head coach? Now when they get rid of the guy, then you start a challenge.
Right.
And I keep telling people that stop. Don't even ask me about it in the public anymore. Who's going to be the next head coach?
Right.
Now if they come out in 2 weeks and say, okay, we decided to part ways with Mike Riley, but then you ask for that question.
Right.
But right now, don't ask that. Oh, is Scott Fry's going to be the guy?
There's been a bunch of that in here. You know, we've avoided that last couple of weeks. I've avoided it altogether today.
But negative comments right now when the program's doing bad is hurting recruiting more than you think it is.
Yeah.
So Chris just said, what should I even what should I have to look forward to next week? How do we recover? How do we just make the best of the rest of the season?
By going out supporting them. That's how you make the best of it. You go into the game saying I go into every game thinking Nebraska will win. Mm-hmm. I do. And I said that last week. I thought we were going to win 4 of the last 5 games. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I said it last week. Even when they come off a bye week and then play the way they did. Even when they lost to Ohio State and Wisconsin, I said Nebraska win 4 of the last 5 games. Did I not say that loud on air?
Yeah.
I still believe, but I also am a realist.
You're realistic, right?
Realistic. And so you still go out there with the mindset that, hey, maybe this might be the week that they do it all together. Mm-hmm. That I'm still going to support them and win. And if they lose, like, okay, did they improve? Or did I see the same? Then you but don't go in the game and say, well, how many are going to lose by this week? Because you still got to play the game. How many people thought Michigan State was going to beat Penn State yesterday?
None.
How many people thought I was going to beat Ohio State the way they did?
Zero.
Yeah. Especially the way they did.
That's my point. You still got to play the game.
Yeah. And you can never underestimate. And you know, if there's any Nebraska players listening to us, you can never underestimate attitude.
No.
Because the attitude and the energy and attitude that you take into a game and you ride on, things can happen. And a lot of times, like we said earlier, it's not about X and O's most of the time. You know, it's the effort and the attitude that I know these guys can bring into these last few games and be very competitive. And like Tommy said, even win, you know. But the attitude has to be right. The attitude has to be there. And, you know, and again, if there's any Nebraska coaches out there, you know, I would always encourage them, you know, don't think that you always got all the answers.
No.
You know, because from a player to another player or from a former player to another former player, there's a certain level of communication and a certain message that former players can relay and transition to players today that maybe a coach can't.
Right, because they hear it all the time from a coach.
They hear it all the time from a coach.
It's like my son. I can tell my son, I tell my son this, but then someone else go back and tell my son the exact same thing I said. They're like, oh.
Yeah.
Because they hear it from you all the time.
Right.
But if someone from outside comes and tells them, then it registers.
Somebody from outside and somebody that's been there and that's done it and that can share their experiences, that's priceless.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, you can get guys will freaking run through a wall if you inspire them enough. Mm-hmm. And they know the proper attitude that they got to come in with. And again, it's not just saying, okay, I know what my assignment is here. I know what my assignment is there. I'm going to go out and do the best I can. No, there has to be more motivation than that.
Right.
Man, it would seem like ex-Huskers, you know, there's so many people around here still, ex-Huskers, ex-players that would love to go back there, that would fight to go back there probably and just talk to him for 20 minutes.
And you know, it's not even being part of the program, going and being coach or somebody. It's just going and just telling them what Nebraska is.
Yes.
I'm just saying that I agree. But that message can't be said enough, right?
Yeah,
it cannot be said enough.
These kids don't understand what happened in the 50s and 60s and why Bob Devaney came here and what happened when Bob Devaney in the 70s and what happened in the 70s and the 80s.
Right.
I'll tell you, my first time I got here on campus, when all the freshmen, the first night, they played a video, Nebraska's tradition. And it went back to how the program was built.
Right.
And it showed Keith End Zone Jones runs and stuff like that when running backs got excited.
Right.
It showed Turner Gill. It showed Jerry Godowski. It showed Steve Taylor. It showed Jerry Taggy.
Right.
It showed Dave Remington. It showed Rich Glover.
Right.
It showed the tradition of, guys, this is the reason why we're here.
Right.
This is the reason why we're in Nebraska.
Right. This end just wasn't hatched within the last 10 years.
No.
I mean, there's so much history and tradition there that these young men have to know and they have to embrace. They have to feel it. They have to believe it. Because if you don't, you can't play Nebraska football just any kind of way. And unfortunately, I think that's what's been going on.
I see it all the time. I see it all the time with the U.
Yeah.
University of Miami.
Yep.
I see those guys, Warren Sapp, Ray Lewis, Michael Irvin. Highsmith.
Yeah.
All those guys, Daniel Stubble, was it Stubblefield? No, it's the Vince Warfel.
Yeah.
Guys who history, they go back there.
Ray Lewis.
Ed Reed. They go back there and they give a passionate speech about what it means to have that U on your helmet.
Come on, man.
And when those guys are lubed up and they go out there and they practice hard.
Yeah.
And they perform. And look what happened. Miami was off the charts when now if they went out, they're going to be in the playoff.
Yeah.
Because those guys understand what it means to put that U on your helmet.
Right.
I don't think our players understand what it means to put that N on your head.
Right.
And that's not, and it's not their fault.
It's not.
It's not their fault.
It's not. Because the coaches have to embrace that. They have to not feel what's the word I want to use? They have to not feel intimidated by former guys coming in.
Your best recruiters are your best recruiting. Your best motivators are the guys who've been there before.
Who's been there before?
Who understand the pressures of what it's in here.
We want nothing but the best for the program. Yeah. We want nothing but to support the program and the players. I would just ask, the coaches to reach out more. I mean, whether it's this staff or, whatever new staff, the new athletic director. I mean, somebody has to implement that. That has to be a given. Matter of fact, to me, it shouldn't even be an option.
And it doesn't need to be me or it can be anyone. Bring in Joe Makovic, a guy who's a walk-on.
Thank you. Yeah.
And moved up and started and went play the years in the NFL.
My goodness, we just did the deal with Joe a few weeks ago.
Well, that's the type of. It doesn't need to be a Tommy Frazier all the time,
right?
Look at Joe Makovic. Look at Jeff Makovic, who came as a running back and then he realized he wasn't going to be a running back, so he put on weight and was starting fullback in '95.
Yeah, players that's been through the program
that understand
and who have had success in the program, and there's a lot of them. Bring them back. Let them share their experience. Let them share their story. Like Tommy said, it don't have to be all Americans or guys like that, because these players can't relate to all those guys, But the basic fundamental tradition, guys that came out every day in practice, off season, spring training, winter conditioning.
Yeah.
Guys have done that. And that's what creates and builds on that tradition and history of Nebraska football, because that's when the season is actually won or lost. It's during that off season, which if guys don't really know that, if they're just going through the motions during the off season, winter conditioning and all that stuff, or in spring ball, we're just going through this, I just want to make sure I'm on the team, or I just want to make sure I'm starting in front of this guy, whatever.
Then Nebraska's not a place for you.
Yeah, it's not.
Not a place for you.
No.
And that's where it starts right there. Do these guys truly understand where the frustration comes from former players?
Yeah.
And where the frustration comes from the fans.
Yeah, I think it's the same frustration.
It's the same.
A little different perspective, but
the same.
Yeah. But it is not. Trust me, I understand. Nebraska's not going to win every game. Nebraska's not going to win championships.
I think we understand as the fans. We
understand that.
But we need to be competitive.
But we got to be competitive. Be competitive. If Nebraska lose every game by 1 or 2 points, Nebraska fans, because they play hard, they play tough.
Yeah,
it went down to the end. But when you're playing the way you're playing right now, and you lose, I never thought Nebraska we losing to Northwestern.
Come on, man.
The way they losing.
Come on.
I never thought Nebraska would lose to Illinois a couple years ago. I never thought Nebraska would have to battle Purdue a couple years ago. And those schools right there shouldn't be even on the same field.
They shouldn't be.
And I understand.
And teams, when you watch film, when other teams are preparing for Nebraska, I'll guarantee you, when they watch the film,
they're laughing.
And what they do, there's certain things that you can sense from players, okay? The way they play the game. If I'm watching, I'm seeing how this team is playing, and I'm actually seeing how non-physical a guy that I'm going to be playing against is, I got him beat. I already got him beat. I mean, so then once you step on the field, I mean, there's this, players sense each other out. See, and they size each other and they sense each other out. You looking for to see if this guy got hard or not. Mm-hmm. That's what you do.
By how they warm up.
Do warm up, pregame.
Pregame warm
exactly.
up. Pregame warm
you watch the guys and you looking and you sizing them up.
Yeah, I see that. I still remember there was times I used to watch the defensive line, the offensive line warm up. I mean, they're going full speed, button helmets, and it's like they're in practice again.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, geez, guys, calm down down there.
Yeah, and you got other teams seeing that.
Yeah.
Game's not even started yet, and these guys over here beating up on each other.
Yeah, or you got Lawrence Fields or Damon Benning just running, like, getting the handoff and running 30 yards down the field.
Yeah.
Then sprint back.
It's going to be a long day.
That's the attitude. That's like,
it's
wow,
gonna be a long
these guys
day.
are warming up like this.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But that's the type of mentality that former players can teach, go and instill and show that, God, this is how you get it done. Yeah. You don't need to be the best athlete. It's all about your mental makeup.
Yeah.
It's about your way you prepare yourself individually. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, the old saying, there's no I in team. There is an I in team. It's understood. Because it takes a bunch of individuals to make up a team.
Right.
And until each individual come on, am I doing everything in my power to make sure that I'm ready physically, mentally, and emotionally ready to play this game?
Yeah.
Then that's when you start getting a team that gels together.
Yeah.
I don't think we have that.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of guys who just happen to be on the say, I play for the University of Nebraska.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's not their fault.
Right.
It's not their fault.
Right. Yeah. And because if as a coach, whatever position it is that you're playing, and this is the coaches as a whole, if your players are not exhausted after the game, we got a problem.
I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to go out after I got out the game.
If you are playing and you're getting reps, if you are almost not having to be carried off the field, there's a problem. Mm-hmm. If you're not sitting at your locker when that game's over with and you sitting there to recuperate before you even get in the shower, there's a problem.
I do know that's one thing that I admire about Coach Solich. I used to hear him all the time. Mm-hmm. Hey, you might get 10 carries, but make them 10 best carries you ever had.
Best ones you ever had.
Best ones you ever had. So you go full speed. You get tired. We got enough guys. We'll give you a spell.
Give you a blow.
We'll give you a blow. We'll get you back. But don't take plays off.
Yeah.
And try to save yourself.
Yeah.
All right, I'll ask one last question because we're going pretty long now. And that's the only reason I'm asking this one is because a lot of people are in the chat talking about it. But everybody's asking now, should we even be handing out black shirts anymore, or is this just a complete marketing ploy that just no longer means anything?
No, it's just tradition. Once again, so not handing them out, you're breaking tradition. And tradition, when it started in the 80s, the black shirt started in the 80s.
Yeah.
And that means something. Now, here's the thing about it. I'll be the first person to say this. If they're not playing like black shirts, then you take the black shirt from them. But you still, the black shirts are the 11 or 12, 13 starters. I mean, I say it's 11, 12, 13. It could be the guys who play the nickel defense. You can get them. But I also do know that if a guy lost his position as a black shirt, that black shirt's taken from him. The guy who stepped in, that guy got a red shirt.
Yeah, yeah. And just speak to that. You see other teams, and I can't really recall them right now, but I think Georgia. But do you see other teams defensively or offensively when they make plays?
Yeah. They're throwing the crossbones.
But they have like a belt that they put on. Guys who make a play during the game.
Turnovers, give a chain or something like that.
Yeah, chain.
Because that's the mentality that hey, Nick Saban, Saban, they get a belt.
Yeah.
If they score a touchdown.
So what I'm saying is it's not just about the black shirt. It's about when you make plays. When you can go out there and make plays and make a difference in the game, you're even going to be rewarded more.
Because didn't Bo Pelini try to do that? He held the black, and people got mad about it.
Halfway in the season,
people got upset with that.
Yeah.
No, you give the black shirts off to if this is your starting defense, you give the black shirts. Now, if they're not performing, so let's just say if Carlos Davis is not performing, and somebody else goes and start next week, then Carlos Davis is not a black shirt anymore.
Right.
The guy who took his spot is a black shirt.
He has a black shirt.
He's a black shirt.
Yeah.
But you still give them out because not everybody on the defense is not playing well.
Right.
And not playing bad.
Right. So you won't have no black shirts.
Yeah. There's some guys who are actually playing pretty well.
Yeah.
But then there's some guys who aren't playing well.
Yeah.
But you don't take the black shirts from all the defense. I know a couple of years ago who I think Zach Bowman, or was it Bowman, or somebody got saying no one should wear the black shirt because we're not. Well, wait a minute. Yeah. Me as an individual, if I feel I'm doing my job, then I deserve it. I'm gonna start it.
Right.
but I think you still hand them out because why? We just kept talking about it. Yeah. It's tradition.
Yeah.
It's tradition, and you don't want to. If you don't keep tradition, it's gonna be hard to get it back.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening with Nebraska right now.
Yeah, it's true.
All right,
but who won the pictures? Who won the autograph stuff?
Man, I don't even know. I got to look it up.
Well,
we got to look it up.
Yeah, we got. Like, I promise, but obviously, I think a lot of people might have picked. A lot of people might have picked Northwestern. So we're gonna. I promise you
nice.
that. Yep. Give them to him for the first 5 who predicted the right score, and the team is going to win it. So
you did. So we'll go back and look because I'm sure. Well, I do have record on it, so we just got to go back and look. If you know you won, don't tell me because you're probably lying to me. No, we'll go back and look. So he brought him today. Did you sign him?
No, I signed him. I'll get him signed.
All right, you're going to get him signed. So we'll go back and look and see.
Or just inbox you.
The 5 people that came the closest to the score, right? To the final score. The first 5 that came closest to the final score is who we were giving the autograph pictures to.
And the right team winning.
And, right team winning.
Yeah, right team winning. So,
what do you think about this week?
I think Nebraska got a chance. I'm still going to support them. I mean, I look at the rest of the games here, and there's not a team on the schedule I don't think Nebraska can't beat except Penn State.
Yeah.
But the last 5 games, and I'm repeating myself, I said after they lost to Ohio State, Nebraska's win 4 out of the last 5 games. Because every team right there is about the same.
Yeah. With
the exception of Penn State, every other team that Nebraska had on the schedule is about the same level.
Yeah.
And it goes to turnovers and who makes the plays.
Yeah.
So I think Nebraska's going to win it.
Yeah. I think they'll win this week too. Minnesota, I mean, they've played, good at times. But not consistent.
Yeah.
And from a personnel standpoint, Minnesota's missing some pieces that they've had in the past.
And they've always played Nebraska tough, just like Northwestern always played Nebraska tough. So it's going to be a tough game.
Right. It'll be a tough game.
But I don't see why Nebraska can't win this game.
Right.
Now, if you tell me, hey, they have Penn State this week, I was like, no, Nebraska's not going to win because Penn State going to be upset because they all lost 2 in a row. And the way they lost 2 in a row,
Yeah.
But there's like I say, even Iowa. Remember, Iowa's not the killer team.
No, they've been up and down.
They've been up and down, but they just played out of their minds.
Man, they were up this week though.
They just played out of their minds. And the same thing, they did the same thing versus Penn State.
I love seeing it.
Played out of their minds.
Yeah. Love seeing that.
Yeah. And then they go. Who did they lose to? Then they lose like Northwestern.
Well, they lost to Northwestern.
They go to lose Northwestern.
Yeah.
So once again, in this conference right here, the elite teams are going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But everybody else, who is how you feel on that day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Nebraska will win this game.
Yeah, I do too.
All right.
What do you think, Dan?
I always think Nebraska's going to win.
Yeah, you do.
I think Nebraska's going to win against Penn State.
I like that.
I'm not a realist. So, anyway, the podcast will be out. If you want a better quality audio version of this, it'll be out literally in like 20 minutes. I've already set it up, so I'm pushing it early. Otherwise, I'll wait until too late. People are giving their predictions. Yeah, throw your predictions in there. Other people throwing their predictions out already. I think Nebraska's going to win this week, but I say that every week.
Yeah, I say
I'm holding on to hope.
I don't say that.
Holding on to hope.
I don't say that every week. I said a lot less this year than I did
think
before.
Ohio State was the only. Well, even then, I was still like maybe it was still early enough in the season.
I said Wisconsin. They were the one who beat Wisconsin. I thought it was going to be a closer game. Nebraska was up.
Yeah.
But hey, my prediction might be looking good.
Holding out hope.
You got to hold out hope, man. Just keep supporting. Right now, this program needs your support more than ever.
Yeah.
Don't kick them when they're down. Help build them up. Show them that you're still there. Still show up to the game and cheer them on.
We'll bounce back. There's so much passion in this state, and there's so many players that have so much passion.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to drive this. It's just a long road.
Yeah,
it's hard once it starts. Once you tear down the wall, it takes a long time to build something back up.
And I think it's also an education thing for fans because, like, I've learned a lot just sitting here with you, like just how recruiting's changed and the games change. We're all stuck. A lot of us were stuck in the '90s forever.
Right,
we're stuck there.
Right,
and over the last couple of years, I've kind of learned a lot about the game and just how much it's changed. And but from a fan perspective, I see it here still. People talking. They're like, "Hey, Penn State turned around right away. Why can't we be? Why can't we go back?" I see people saying, "Why do we not bring back Stolage?
Because Penn State they can go 300 miles and get top players.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Well, that's what
Nebraska can't do that.
That's what makes Nebraska so special.
Right.
That's one of the things that I listen to you guys. Like I feel it like goosebumps because we're not Miami.
No.
Miami can go in their backyard,
Right,
and
right.
Michael Irving can come and talk to them. Well, they got so much talent.
Florida State can go in their backyard. They can go up in Alabama and get those.
To pull that off here,
Yeah.
it's something special.
It is special.
It gotta be a special. It's a special place to where you got to get kids that when they get here, it's like wow. But to tell the ones on your team to when things bad, just pack your bags up and leave with dignity now. Something's wrong with that. That's
that's wrong.
That wouldn't make me want to come to that university.
Right.
It's wrong.
Especially when you calling yourself the greatest fans, and Nebraska, in my opinion, are some of the greatest fans out there. There's a handful of maybe 3% of the fans out there who's run it for all of the other 97%.
Right.
Ditto.
Yep. So
All right, let's wrap this up. Anything else?
nope. We'll be back
Thanks,
next
Keith.
week, but later on because I'll be going to Minnesota and be driving
That's right.
back.
You're out, so we'll figure it out. So we're recording next week, probably at a later time.
Yeah, later time. Might be either Sunday evening or early Monday.
All right. So I'll update that and we'll post it out on Facebook. So Facebook.com. Well, everybody's watching it right
See,
now.
I wish
Put
I
it
was
on
still. I wish I.
Facebook.com/Chris
See, we did
Antonio.
when I was out of town for the Northern Illinois game. We actually did it. We did like video Skype.
Yeah, that worked pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I was in my hotel room and I had sitting there talking through my cell phone.
Right.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. So
That worked really well.
yeah. So we got to the point now to where one of us can travel. We still can do the show.
Yeah.
We still can do it.
Yep. So we'll do it next week. We just might have to do it a little later.
Yeah.
And you're always welcome back, Keith.
Okay.
It's
All right.
good to have you on
Anytime.
here.
It's fun.
Good.
It is fun. It's fun.
Good perspective. And yeah, I mean, it's fun we didn't answer near as many questions as we usually do.
Because we did a lot of talking.
You guys were
Kinda-
going, and everybody's just listening like, oh man, I think everybody enjoyed the conversation, but we had a few hundred people on and there's just a ton of questions and comments out here that we didn't get to, but very consistent. And I think as I was reading them, you guys were talking. I think you were basically answering the questions through your conversations anyway. So nevertheless, we always appreciate all. Hey, Steve Taylor joined.
Steve.
No, look at Steve. Don't
What's
steal.
Steve- what's Steve say?
Don't steal my ideas, Steve. Don't steal my ideas. Now make it like I'm yours.
Steve
And stop cheating on golf.
All right, so we'll be back next week.
Yes, we will.
All right, thanks.
Steve. All right, so you heading to Minnesota next week, huh? Okay.
Yeah, we've always done it. It's like every time Nebraska, because it's a fun our trip. Fun. You stay downtown, the stadium like right across the. It's a fun time.